Hare Krishna, I welcome Hare, Hare Krishna. I welcome all of you to our Bhagavad Gita class. This is today we'll be starting chapter 16. The objective of this class is to enable reading of the shlok, to understand the basic meaning of the shlok, and to help understand the basic philosophy of Gita. So this chapter 16 is called The Divine and the Demoniac Nature. The Divine and the Demoniac Nature. And this particular chapter is basically divided into 4 sessions, 4 parts, which is first one from shlok number 1 to 3. It is called Daivi Sampada. Daivi Sampada is the divine qualities. And then from 4 to 9, it is called Asuri Sampada, which is the demoniac qualities. And then from 10 to 20, it is activities of the demonic people and their consequences. And from 21 to 24, it is giving up demonic tendency and following scriptures. And then we will go for glories of chapter 16 from Padma Puran. And before we start, we'll just summarize a bit of chapter 15, what we have done, and then we move to chapter 16. So in chapter 15, Krishna started with comparing this material world with a inverted banyan tree, stating that this inverted banyan tree, because it is the Brahma is at the top, and that is the root of this material world. That's how he compared. And then he talked about his branches is actually downwards, and from there are secondary roots which are still pointing downwards. He explained that these branches are nothing like but different lokas that we have, and we living entities are actually stuck in these branches. The leaves of these trees, this is basically the Vedic hymns, and we as the living entities are stuck in these branches, and sometimes because of the pious activity, either we move up from the branch or we go down to the branch based on our activities, right? And then he said that how can we move from this material world to the spiritual world? He said we have to, by strong determination, we have to cut with the acts of detachment. We have to cut by the acts of detachment this this banyan tree in which we all are stuck. So detachment is one thing that he talked about, and then he said, and then we have to surrender to the Supreme Lord. It is not only detachment, but we have to surrender to the Supreme Lord. And as soon as we surrender and we are detached, what happens? We are actually paying our way to the spiritual path. Yeah, we are to the spiritual world. And then he talked about who the jivas are, who are we, who am I. So we are nothing but the part and parcel of Krishna, and but we are here because of our desires. We wanted to enjoy away from Krishna, so he has sent us to this material world. And what is happening in this material world? We are actually struggling. We are actually struggling because of our senses, which is actually attached with the with the mind. So mana kashtani indriyani prakristha karishyati. All these senses and mind, this is actually what is happening. It is situated in the prakriti, in the material world, and because the senses are situated there, it is we as a human jiva are struggling. And then he talks about that Krishna is actually the maintainer of everything. He has not only sent his part and parcel to the material world because we desired so, but along with that he also has sent Vedas so that we can understand and can live the life as per the scriptures and get released from this bondage that we have created in this world and go back to Krishna. And he says that not only that I have sent you to this material world, but I have also come as a sun, which illuminates this material world. If the sun is not there, this material world will not get illuminated. And I have also come as a moon. Because of the moon, what is happening? I am actually putting the juices in the vegetables and herbs which we can consume and be healthy. And not only that, he is also the power of digestion in the heart, in the stomach of everyone. We are able to digest. It's because of, he says, I am the fire of digestion. So he has not sent us and he has left us. He has sent us the scriptures. He has himself maintaining the material world through sun, through moon. Even us he is maintaining by the fire of digestion. And he says that even the what do you call it, the remembrance, the forgetfulness, everything, that the knowledge that we acquire is also because of him. Yeah. And then later in the last part of the section he talks about that there are two kinds of living entity, which is kshara and akshara. Kshara means fallible and akshara means infallible. And he says all the living entities in this material world are fallible because they are conditioned, and all the living entities in the spiritual world, they have the spiritual body and they are infallible. And then he says, but apart from these fallible and infallible, this super soul is higher, which is me, which is higher than this is super soul, which is me. And then he says that and it is the super soul, the Bhagwan, it is basically me, Lord Krishna. He says I am the supreme Lord. And then he says in the last shlok that he revealed the most confidential part, saying that knowing Krishna means knowing everything. With that we concluded the 15th chapter in the last class, and today we will start the divine qualities, which is shlok number 1 to 3. So let's read. Shri Bhagavan Uvacha.
Shri Bhagavan Uvacha.
Abhayam Sattva Samshuddhir.
Abhayam Sattva Samshuddhir.
Jnana Yoga Vyavasthitihi.
Jnana Yoga Vyavasthitihi.
Danam Damascha Yagyascha.
Danam Damascha Yagnascha.
Swadhyayastap Arjavam.
Adhyayastapa Arjavam.
Ahimsa Satyam Krodhas.
Ahimsa Satyam Akrodha.
Tyaga Shantirapaishunam.
Tyaga Shantir Paishunam.
Daya Bhuteshvalo Luptvam.
Daya Bhuteshvalo Luptam.
Madhavam Hirachapalam.
Madhavam Hiri Achapalam.
Teja Kshamadhiti Shocham.
Tejakshamadviti Saucham.
Adroho Natimanita.
Adroho Natimanita.
Bhavanti Sampadam Devim.
Bhavanti Sampadam Devam.
Abhijatasya Bharata.
Vijatasya Bharata.
Shri Bhagavan Uvacha.
Shri Bhagavan Uvacha.
Abhayam Sattva Samshuddhir.
Abhayam Sattva Samshuddhir.
Jnana Yoga Vyavasthitihi.
Jnana Yoga Vyavasthitihi.
Danam Damascha Yagyascha.
Danam Damascha Yagnascha.
Swadhyayastap Arjavam.
Svadhyayastapa Arjavam.
Ahimsa Satyam Krodhas.
Ahimsa Satyam Akrodhas.
Tyaga Shantirapaishunam.
Tyaga Shantira Paishunam.
Daya Bhuteshvalo Luptvam.
Daya Bhuteshvalo Luptvam.
Madhavam Hirachapalam.
Madhavam Hir Achapalam.
Teja Kshamadhiti Shocham.
Tejakshamadviti Saucham.
Adroho Natimanita.
Droho Natimanita.
Bhavanti Sampadam Devim.
Bhavanti Sampadam Devim.
Abhijatasya Bharata.
Abhijadasya Bharata.
Mataji.
Shri Bhagavan Uvacha.
Shri Bhagavan Uvacha.
Abhayam Sattva Samshuddhir.
Abhayam Sattva Samshuddhir.
Jnana Yoga Vyavasthita Stitihi.
Jnana Yoga Vyavasthitihi.
Dhanam Damascha Yagnascha.
Danam Damascha Yagyascha.
Adhyastava Arjavam.
Swadhyaya Tap Arjavam.
Ahimsa Satyam Akrodhas.
Ahimsa Satyam Akrodhas.
Tyaga Shantir Apaishunam.
Tyaga Shantirapaishunam.
Daya Bhuteshva Lo Luptvam.
Daya Bhuteshvalo Luptvam.
Madhavam Hir Achapalam.
Madhavam Hirachapalam.
Tejakshama Drita Shaucham.
Teja Kshamadhiti Shocham.
Adroho Natimanita.
Adroho Natimanita.
Bhavanti Sampadam Devim.
Bhavanti Sampadam Devim.
Abhijatasya Bharata.
Abhijatasya Bharata. Mataji, you also speak. You also continue. Same thing.
Say, repeat.
Read.
Shri Bhagavan Uvacha.
Shri Bhagavan Uvacha.
Abhayam Sattvasam Shuddhim Jnana Yoga Vyavastitihi.
Abhayam Sattva Samshuddhir Jnana Yoga Vyavastitihi.
Dhanam Damascha Yagyascha
Dhanam
Ascha
damascha
Yagyascha
Swadhyaya Stapaha Arjavam
Swadhyayastap Arjavam
Ahimsa Satyam Krodha
Ahimsa Satyam Krodhas
Tyaga Shanti Vaishnunam
Tyaga Shantira Paishunam
Daya Bhuteshva Loluptam
Daya Bhuteshvalo Luptvam
Madhavam Hira Chapalam
Madhavam Hira Chapalam
Tejaha Kshamadhritihi
Heja Kshamadhiti Shocham
Saucham Droho Natimanitaha
Adroho Nati Manita
Bhavanti Sampadam Daivam
Tavanti Sampadam Devim
Abhijatasya Bharata
Abhijatasya Bharata. So let us read the translation by Srila Prabhupada. The Supreme Personality of Godhead said,
The Supreme Personality of Godhead said,
fearlessness,
fearlessness,
purification of one's existence,
purification of one's existence,
cultivation of spiritual knowledge,
cultivation of spiritual knowledge,
charity,
charity,
self-control,
self-control,
performance of sacrifice,
performance of sacrifice,
study of the Vedas,
study of the Vedas,
austerity,
austerity,
simplicity,
simplicity,
non-violence,
non-violence,
truthfulness,
truthfulness,
freedom from anger,
freedom from anger,
renunciation,
renunciation,
tranquility,
tranquility,
aversion to fault finding,
aversion to fault finding,
compassion for all living entities,
compassion for all living entities,
freedom from covetousness,
freedom from covetousness,
gentleness,
gentleness,
modesty, steady determination,
steady determination,
vigor,
forgiveness,
fortitude, cleanliness,
cleanliness,
and freedom from envy,
and freedom from envy,
and from the passion for honor.
and from the passion for honor.
These transcendental qualities,
These transcendental qualities,
O scion of Bharat,
O son of Bharat,
belong to godly men
belong to godly men
endowed with divine nature.
endowed with divine nature.
Hare Krishna. So, what we'll do is let's look at the third shlok, the last line. Third shlok, the last line. Krishna says, Bhavanti Sampadam Devim Abhijatasya Bharata. Huh? Now here, these are the 26 qualities which are Devim Sampada. Devim means divine, and Sampada means wealth, but here it means qualities. Sampada means qualities, wealth, but here what is that wealth? That is Devim qualities, these qualities. The most important word here is Abhijatasya. Abhijatasya means born by birth. Abhijatasya means born by birth. So Krishna is saying Bharat. Bharat means Arjun, descendant of Arjun. Let me tell you the 26 divine qualities. There are much more, but he is focusing on these 26 divine qualities. He says that these divine qualities are Abhijatasya, born. It comes by birth. Now, it means how can something can come by birth? It is only when someone has already worked on it and has achieved this, or has these qualities, then only in the next birth these qualities can pass it on to the newborn, right? But there are ways by which these qualities can also be cultivated. These qualities can also be cultivated, and that is why in our Vedic scriptures, in our Sanatan Dharma, we have the Varnashram system and we have the sanskars, right? So it is possible that we have the 16 sanskars that we have, which starts before the birth and it goes after the death, beyond the death it starts. And these sanskars are basically the purificatory process. They are the purificatory process, because human life is actually meant for spiritual realization. It is meant so that we can actually, we have taken birth and we should be able to spiritually get advanced and get free from this bondage of birth and death and go back to Godhead. And that is why we have all these sanskars, and our sanskar starts much before the first sanskar that we have is called Garbhadhana Sanskar. The first sanskar that we have is called Garbhadhana Sanskar. It means it, that sanskar starts when the parents, when they want to, they plan to conceive, when they have a plan that now we will go for a child. At that point of time, that is the first sanskar that happens, when the parents themselves, they actually purify themselves by doing yajna, by doing chanting the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, by chanting, by reading Bhagavatam. They purify themselves. They perform a ceremony, and with a very peaceful, calm mind, they enter with a blessings of Krishna. They wish that, please give me a divine child, and then they enter in the process of procreation. So our first ceremony starts much before, is a time when the parents plan to conceive, and then it continues, and we have different processes in our as per our sanskars throughout our life. And finally, when we die, after that we have Shraddha ceremony. That is also a ceremony so that the soul can actually pass through this material world and go back to the right place, right? So it's a beautiful, our culture, our Vedic culture is extremely extensive, and it is focused on how we can actually go through this and move to the spiritual path, right? So it is possible to get a child, divine child, if we follow these process. And also during the life of the child, we have, Krishna says in the 18th chapter, the 5th Shloka, Krishna says that yajna, dan and tap, we should never leave. We should always do the dan. The dan is charity. We should always do yajna, and we should always do austerities, because all these things actually purify us. And with the more we are purified, the more we will be spiritually inclined, and we will have a mind, we'll have our tissues will be will be purified to understand our scriptures, right? So that is abhijatas, is a very, very important word. And let us look at now the qualities, the divine qualities that Krishna is speaking about, right? So let us go to the first slok. Krishna says abhayam. Abhayam, Sattva, Samshuddhir, Jnana, Yoga, Vyavasthiti. These are the three qualities Krishna has talked about in the first line of the first shloka. Abhayam means fearlessness. Abhayam means fearlessness, right? So the first three qualities, now we know in our varnashram system, we have the ashrams, we have different ashrams. Our first ashram is brahmacharya ashram, then we have grihastha ashram, then we have vanaprastha ashram, and then we have sannyas ashram. The first three qualities are specifically talked about for sannyasis, but it is not only limited to them, it can be for anyone. But abhayam here, abhayam means having complete faith. Fearlessness means having completely faith in Krishna. Because think from a sannyasi perspective, this is what Prabhupada has explained. Think from a sannyasi perspective, as it was explained in the 15th chapter. When you want to go away from material world to the spiritual world, what do you need to do? We need to cut. We need to cut the material, the tree in which we are bound. The tree in which we are bound by the axe of detachment. We have to cut the tree by the acts of detachment and completely surrender ourselves to Krishna. So this is what we can do. So once we have completely surrendered to Krishna, so the sannyasi always know that I am never alone. I am never alone. Krishna is always with me. Now a sannyasi keeps on moving from one place to another, preaching, sharing the spiritual knowledge with others, And in olden times they used to go away to forest and stay and live in forest alone. So for it was very very important for for them to have a complete faith, complete fearlessness. If someone has a fear, that person cannot go alone and stay in a forest or can live their life totally alone. So when we have abhayam, when we have a faith that Krishna is always there with me, I am never alone, then only we can have fearlessness, then only we can have complete fearlessness. Now let's think about the different stories and different so in chapter 1 what happened in the Bhagavad Gita chapter 1, what happened when the both the armies are actually they are standing in front of it in the battlefield of Kurukshetra, and then the war is about to begin. So first Bhishma Pitama, he actually blows his shankha. He blows his shankha, and followed by him, all other members of Kauravas, they blew their conch shell. They blew their shankha. But nothing happened to the Pandava side. But as soon as Pandava side, they started blowing their shell, what happened? Their conch shell, everyone on the Kauravas side was fearful.
Yeah.
They were fearful. So why the Pandavas were not fearful? Because Krishna was with them. But on the other side, why they were fearful? Because they knew they are on the wrong and Krishna is not there with them. So when we have Krishna with us, we will never be fearful. And it all depends upon our faith. The stronger the faith, the stronger is our faith. And how can our strong faith be stronger? First by devotional service, and secondly by surrendering. The more we surrender to Krishna, the more stronger faith we will have, and the more stronger faith we will have, the more fearlessness we will be. Automatically it leads us to fearlessness, because we are not worried. We know that we are a part of Krishna. I am not worried about this body. This body anyway has to go one day. So let me, Krishna, whatever you feel, do that and take me, right? Now let us talk about the Prahlad Maharaj. We all know the story of Prahlad. He was such a small boy, and what did his father Hiranyakashipu did? He actually threw him, in the pit full of snakes. He threw him under the foot of a mad elephant. He put him down from the cliff. Oh, whatever he could do to kill Prahlad, he tried everything. But Prahlad Maharaj was always calm, quiet, and always said that who is the God? It is Krishna. Is the supreme personality of God is Krishna. And that faith of Prahlad Maharaj, it did not, so Hiranyakashipu could not do any harm to him. He could not do any harm to him. And with that faith, finally we know that even Narsimha appeared because of Prahlad Maharaj. Similarly, we have seen the case of Amrish Maharaj and Durvasa Muni. We know that story when Amrish Maharaj was actually fasting, and he was in Vrindavan, and he has called all the saints to, and it was time for him to break the fast. And the end moment, what happened? Durvasa Muni came there, and Durvasa Muni said that he would, and now Amrish Maharaj has Durvasa Muni. He said, okay, wait, let me go and take bath and come back. Once I come back, then, and Amrish Maharaj is waiting for Durvasa Muni to come back, and the other side, he is fasting for Ekadashi. He is doing a Nirjala Ekadashi. And then what is happening? It's time for Parayan is crossing. So he asked the saints what the gurus they should do. He said, okay, you can have one drop of water, that's fine. And as soon as he took one drop of water, Durvasa Muni came and he said, you have insulted the saint, you have insulted me, you had ate before giving it to me. And out of anger, he took out one strand of his hair and called for a demon who could kill the Amrish Maharaj. But finally, Amrish Maharaj was just standing with his hand folding, because he was a great devotee. And finally, what happened? Krishna's chakra came, and it started following Durvasa Muni. And Durvasa Muni went to everyone to save himself. He went to Shiva, he went to Brahma, he went to everyone. He went finally to Vishnu himself, that you please excuse me. But then Vishnu, he said, no. Krishna says, if you insult my devotees, don't come to me. You go and back to Amrish and ask him for help. And finally he came to Amrish, and Amrish Maharaj forgave him, right? So this is the story of Amrish Maharaj, and we can see how,
especially on Ekadashi.
especially on Ekadashi, and how this fearlessness develops the more you are dedicated to, the more you are surrendered to Krishna, right? So this is Abhayam. Then is Sattva Samshuddhir. Sattva Samshuddhir means purification of one's existence. So to move, if we are not purified, we will not be able to focus on God, because God is pure. God is pure. And if we have to, so what happens, because we are so contaminated, what happens, we are actually, our senses are engaged in all material things. So it is very, very important, if we want to get to the spiritual, to get the divine qualities, we have to purify ourselves. And we have talked about the purification process multiple times, about chanting, hearing, listening to association of devotees, listening to Bhagavatam, listening to Bhagavad Gita, reading our scriptures, worshipping the deities, decorating the deities, doing vandana, doing archanam. All these processes actually purify us. And also what it is there, it is, so once we are purified, also then purification depends upon, so this is what, we have to be purified. And once we are purified, and this is especially for sannyasis, they have lot of rules that, they cannot, I mean, once you have taken a sannyas, then you can't become, you can't be near, in contact with women, and you cannot be meeting women alone. So they are also in our ashrams. We have, what do you call it, for each of our ashrams, with brahmacharya, grihastha, vanaprastha, and sannyas, we have some code of conducts that we need to follow, which helps us to purify. They are defined in Vedas, like, how we should live. So a brahmacharya is supposed to be, to maintain celibacy, is supposed to be focused on studies. And similarly, a grihastha has to be controlled. He has to be ensuring that, he's taking care. And because he is a grihast, doesn't give him a blank check of doing whatever the, sense gratification they want. Although they are grihast, they have to live their life with Krishna as the center, so that they remain purified. So this is very, very important. The third point is Jnana Yoga Vyavastiti. Jnana Yoga Vyavastiti means cultivation of spiritual knowledge. Which knowledge? The Jnana Yoga Vyavasthiti. Jnana is knowledge. Yoga is in connection to Lord. So it is spiritual knowledge has to be cultivated. And why it is very, very important? Because the spiritual knowledge actually helps us to show us the right path to move for. What is right, what is wrong, how can we, what should be done, what should not be done. And these spiritual knowledge also helps to purify ourselves. And that is why one of the major job of the sannyasis is to go around the world sharing this knowledge. So first is cultivation of spiritual knowledge, which starts right from brahmacharya. Right from brahmacharya, we need to read our scriptures, learn our scriptures, and get spiritual knowledge. And followed by grihastha, has to, I know we may not have much time, just like a sannyasi or a vanaprasth to do the services for Krishna, but he has to live the life around Krishna. And similarly, the vanaprastha, when you move to vanaprastha, the amount of time that spent should increase. And sannyasis, they have to go around, and they have to actually share this knowledge with everyone. It's not only sannyasis, any ashrams can actually do that. But yes, it is expected that sannyasis will be expert. But any ashram, right from brahmacharis, whomever God has actually blessed, and they have cultivated that knowledge, they can go and share the knowledge, right? The next is Danam. The fourth one is Danam. Danam is charity. Now, charity can be of any kind. It could be a Annadan. It could be a Vastradan. It could be a Karmadan. You can do any dan that we can do. But the highest dan is Vidyadan. Highest dan is Vidyadan. When we share knowledge is the highest dan. And in Vidyadan, the highest dan is sharing the spiritual knowledge. That is the highest charity that can be given, right? Now, the way our ashrams are situated, we have a brahmacharya, then we have grihast. Now, if you look at all the 4 ashrams that we have, it is only grihastha who is actually who's working. And if we assume that our life is of 100 years, 25 years of brahmacharya, 25 years of grihastha, 25 years of anaprastha, and 25 years of sannyas. This is how it has been divided. Now, it is only when we are in the grihastha phase of life, then we are actually earning money. So it is very, very important for grihasthas to give money in the charity. They to give money in the charity, because they are the one who maintains the other 3 ashrams. They are the one who maintain the brahmacharis, who are the kids, who are the vanaprasths, who are the parents, or the sannyasis, who are actually going around sharing the knowledge. So it is very, very important for grihastha to share to give money in the charity, so that the society can be balanced. Also, it is very, very important for grihasthas to give money, first of all, because they earn money. But money is actually a very, very big cause of attachment, because through money we can buy any of the sense gratification things that we want to, right? Now, if someone is attached to money, then what will happen? If the attachment is very high, then the soul cannot get free easily, because it is stuck with the money. It is stuck with the money. Now, if we have a habit of donating, of giving daan of money, what happens? We are actually detaching ourselves from our hard-earned money that we have got. If we are able to give daan of that, then what happens? We are actually cultivating a habit of detaching ourselves from sense enjoyment, because our hard-earned money we are able to donate, right? So that is something which is very, very important for us to do, right?
Damascha.
Yeah, damasya, right? So money actually,
Sense cut.
yeah, then is damasya is self-control and sense control. Yeah, after dan it is damasya. What is dama? Dama means control, mind control, controlling the mind, and specifically the senses. Mataji, as you rightly said, it is not only the mind control and specifically focused to the sex life. It is very, very important that we maintain celibacy as a brahmacharya. In grihastha, when we are married, still we have to have a control, self control. Our mind should be controlled, so that we are not engaged into this activity at a too much, because that actually bring down our capability of understanding or giving the spiritual knowledge, because that is again our purification process is a part of it. So that is again a self control. We have to follow the self control, so that we are living our life as per the scriptures, and that also helps us to purify ourselves, right?
Yes.
Now, yagya, we know that, yagya is again, we say, as I said in the 18th chapter, Krishna says that we must do yagya. Yagya, why? Because that purifies ourselves. The entire process of doing the fire yagya is actually helps us to the chanting of the Vedic mantras that is being done, what we offer in the Agni. All these things actually purifies us. And at the same time, it is also very, very important. Yagya is not always the fire yagya. Even chanting the Hare Krishna Mahamantra, even is a yagya. Sankirtan yagya, when we call it a Sankirtan yagya, when we sit together and chant the glories of Hare Krishna Mahamantra, chant, that is also a yagya, right? And also, if what we read in the 14th chapter, I wanted to show that in the 14th chapter, when we're talking about the modes of material nature, we actually took all these things in detail, because any of these things, whether it is charity, whether it is austerity, whether it is yagya, all these things can be classified into 3 modes. It could be in the mode of goodness, it could be in the mode of passion, or it could be in the mode of ignorance. Now let us see what Krishna says about charity, the dan, in the mode of goodness, sattva. And Krishna says charity without expectation of results. When we give the dan and we are not expecting anything in return of that, then at a proper place, not anywhere, at a proper place and time to a proper person. Sometimes we think, okay, a beggar has come, I have given, that is a dan. No, that is not a dan. Dan has to be given to a proper person who is actually following the scriptures, and is also doing the, what do you call it, he's a living priest who is actually doing the ceremonies and is purified. So when we give dan to them, then it is the dan in the mode of sattvam. If I'm giving something to a beggar, if there's a clothes I've given to some, that is not dan. That is the mode of goodness, but that is not, you can't call that as a dan, right? So Krishna says sattva means any charity that the dan that we give, it's without expectation of results, at a proper place and time and to a proper person. That dan, that charity is in the mode of goodness. And then Krishna explains the dan in the mode of passion. He says expectation of results. When we are giving some dan, but we are expecting some results. Okay, I've given this, the other person will give me this back. Yeah, okay, I'm doing this to God, I have done this yajna for God, so God, you give me promotion. Then it is not dan, it is business. It is not dan, it is business. I have done this one so that you can give me favor. That is not called dan, that is basically a business. So expectation of results, desirable fruitive activities, and in grudging mood. And I am doing, no, I won't give 2000 to Pandit, I will only give 1000. Oh, okay, this comes, and every time we do the yajna, I have to give so much to Pandit. That is in a grudging mode. And if you are doing that, then it is in the mode of passion. We should give whatever dan we are giving, we should give with a full open heart, we should give, right? And then what is charity in tamoguna? It says when the dan is given at an impure place, to an impure time, to an unworthy person, and without proper attention and respect, then it is called the dan in tamoguna. Now we also read about yajna. Now, so Krishna also explains that yajna also is of three types, and he explains that yajna, when we are doing a yajna, when we are doing a yajna, when we have no expectation results, and we are doing it as a matter of duty and as per the scriptures, because Krishna says that we must do dan, yajna, and tap. In the 18th chapter, 5th shlok, he says we must do it, because doing this, first thing, this is our, we have to do it. Even in the 3rd chapter of Bhagavad Gita, Krishna has said that I have sent you, I have also sent Vedas, and then we, because everything has been given to us free by the God. We get free water, we get free air, we get free soil from whom we can grow the grains. Nothing is actually by us, it is all given by God. So we must do the sacrifice and thank them. A yajna is nothing but a method of doing sacrifice and thanking them. And Krishna declares in 3rd chapter that those who enjoys all these things without doing yajna, without doing thanking the gods from whom they are taking, they are nothing but thieves. They are nothing but thieves, because we are enjoying, we are taking, but not even thanking, not even looking back and thanking. So we become the biggest thief. So yajna, when we do, we should, as a duty, we should always do at least few yajnas in a year, we must perform, and then it should be done as a matter of duty with no results. And then Krishna says, this is when we do it, then it is the mode of goodness. Then what is in a rajo in the mode of passion? Krishna says, when we do a yajna with expectation results, and for the sake of pride, I invite so many people, look, I'm doing yajna. Yeah, and then I have a big list with me to negotiate with the God. I have given so much thing, you have to give me that. That is called in the mode of passion. And in the mode of passion means you are stuck in the cycle of birth and death. And then ignorance, it says when you are doing yajna without following scriptures and Vedic hymns, and without offering prasadam, and without giving dakshina, when you are doing this, then it is in the mode of ignorance, right? So that's how Krishna explains the yajna. So we talked about Danam, Damascha, Yagyascha. The next word is Swadhyaya. Swadhyaya means, Swa means self. Adhyaya is study. Self study of what? Self study of our Vedic literatures. Self study of Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam, Vedas. This has to be a part of our life. Upanishads are part of Vedas. We have to do it because that is what is going to help us purify and take us forward in the path so that we can come out of the cycle of birth and death. And this is specifically start at the brahmacharya. Right from a child, this has to be done. Does it mean that no, they should not be given modern education? No, we have to balance both. They have to be given modern education so that they are able to earn their livelihood if they want to do something. But then we have to always understand what is the goal of our life. Our goal of life is to go back to Godhead. It is not to get stuck and to suffer in this world and to have this old age and disease and all those sufferings that we have. So if we are clear about the goals, we have to help our kids, our society from childhood so that they learn this knowledge and live their life a Krishna conscious life, right? And then we have tap is austerity. Again, austerity is extremely important. Why? Because that purifies us. Austerity again purifies us. And Krishna has also explained austerity. He has explained austerity of in the 17th chapter, the next chapter that we'll read. We will read about the austerity of speech, just austerity of mind. But basically, as a nutshell, Krishna has explained austerity also classified into three parts. He says, when we are doing austerity, not for fruitive results, but the sake of supreme, then that is the austerity in the mode of goodness. But when we are doing austerity, I am fasting today, Krishna, so that tomorrow you should be able to, give me something, some material thing or some promotion or some hike of my salary, or my problem should get sorted out, or my child gets a pass in school. Or so when we go to God, we actually do a business with God. We go with a laundry list that I have come to temple today. I have done a favor to you by coming to temple. Please complete all this work of mine. I will give you, once this is done, I will actually honor prasadam to you. Yeah, that's what we do, right? So austerity means when we are performed out of pride and to gain respect, honor, pride, then that austerity is basically in the mode of passion. But and those which is performed out of foolishness, many times austerity we inflict pain on ourselves. There are I've seen in austerity where we put all those needles throughout the body or in the tongue and all. So thaipusam, something we have. So oh yeah, so all those things Krishna says performed out of foolishness by self torture and to destroy and harm others. There are austerity, there are yagyas that we can do so that someone else can get harm. All these things are in the mode of ignorance. In the mode of ignorance. And then the last one in the first slok is arjavam. Arjavam is simplicity. Simplicity. Arjavam is simplicity. Simplicity means the person is pure. It means there is no duplication. Satyam. So basically, the person doesn't know. It's so simple, so pure that is, Prabhupada says that even he can go and tell the truth in front of enemy. Yeah. So that is the behavior where he doesn't know how to whatever is in the heart, same thing is in the tongue. No duplicacy. That is simplicity, right?
Double standard.
No double standards. Yeah. So that is what is the divine qualities. And then we move to the second shlok.
Ahimsa.
Ahimsa. Ahimsa is basically non-violence. Non-violence. Non-violence is what? Non-violence is basically we say don't hurt, don't hurt anybody, don't kill animals, don't kill what do you call it? Don't beat people. That is which is now beating can be of two types. When a mother beat a child to correct, that is important. That is not ahimsa. That is not non-violence. That's not violence. But something which is harming out of that should not be done. Then satyam. Satyam means truthfulness. We have to be speaking always truth, right? Akrodhas. Akrodhas means should be free from anger. We have talked about anger in multiple shloks in Bhagavad Gita till now. anger is something which is very, very important, has to be eliminated. Why it has to be eliminated? Once we get angry, even once when we are getting angry, we are actually polluting our body. What we are doing? We are polluting our body. So anger is harming ourselves. It is not that I'm getting angry and someone else is getting harmed. Anger is actually harming, polluting our own cells, right? So, but why does anger comes? Anger comes because of expectations. Why does anger comes? It is in the second chapter we have read.
Calm also.
And karma, yeah, karma. So we have read in the second
Desire.
chapter
If you
in
are
desires. Yes. So we have read in the
fulfill,
second.
na, yeah, I automatically
Get anger. Yes, yes. So when we have desires, and if the desires are not fulfilled, then what will happen? We actually get angry. And as soon as anger happens, what happens? Our memory get lost. And when our memory get lost, what happens? We fall down. We fall down. So this is what we have read in the second chapter. So what is the divine quality? When you don't get angry. Even you are provocated, you don't get angry, then you are keeping the purity of your body. We also know the story of what do you call it? Shankaracharya, when he went to this what do you call it? The Shankaracharya of
Kanchiya.
not Kanchi, this one, the near we have
Sringeri.
Sringeri Mutt. So when he went to choose the Shankaracharya for that, he actually went to a village, and there, when he had this conversation and when he was having this discussion, so his wife, was made the guru to see whether he is worth. His name was Mandan Mishra. His name was Mandan Mishra. Mandan Mishra and Shankaracharya. Now, Mandan Mishra was being tested, and there was a Shastarth was happening between Mandan Mishra and Shankaracharya. And his wife, who was supposed to be an incarnation of Saraswati, was made as a judge to see whether who wins, whether Mandan Mishra wins or Shankaracharya wins. And then what happened? She said, okay, fine. She gave a flower, a garland to both of them, and said that okay, whichever garlands actually murjha jayega, that person will actually lose. And then what happens when the shastras was happening, the Mandan Mishra garland actually became old. It was big, just light. He just got angry, and that anger made the garland actually. So that is what. So anger is extremely harmful. And then we have tyaga. Tyaga is renunciation. So if we have to move, we have to renunciate. We have to renounce all the material pleasure, all the sense gratification has to be renounced. Does it mean that we also renounce our family?
No.
Huh? No. We have to be, always understand the family members are nothing but a gift for you. You are detached, but they are a gift, and you have to take care of them. You have to take care of each of them, right? Those who renounce, they are, as Krishna has explained previously in the 4th, 5th chapter, that those who just leave and go, they are nothing but, they are actually cowards. They are cowards. You have to, you are mentally renounced. You are mentally renounced, but you have to do your duty of taking care of your dependents. Whatever dependence, whatever your karma is, whatever your what do you call it, your
Whatever
duties,
duty
whatever
have
your
to do
duty
it
is, we have to,
without any expectation.
without any expectation and with detachment. We have to do our
Yes.
duty without any expectation and with detachment. It could be with family members, it could be with friends, it could be in office, it could be anywhere. Because we are born as human, we have to live, we have to do our duty. And if we can succeed like that, then we are actually progressing in the path of spirituality, right? Then Tyaga, Shantir. Shantir is basically tranquility, peacefulness. And then Apashunam. Apashunam means fault finding, aversion to fault finding. That is a very, very important, very, very, very important behavior, which is if the divine, prevalent everyone, all of us, we feel that we are perfect, just everyone has a problem. Fault finding, each of us have this habit of finding fault in others. But aversion to fault finding is a divine quality. Those who are divine, they are not able to see fault in others. It actually you can know how the person is. If the person is not able to find fault, that is the degree of the divinity of that person. You can define the divinity of the person by defining how much fault finding behavior the person has. The more the person has a habit of fault finding, the less divine that person is. Right? It is my acharya my guru was giving example that once there was a sieve that we use for taking the taking out the tea. Yeah, so sieve and the needle. The sieve is telling the needle that look, you have a hole. Look, you have a hole. And the hole and the needle is quiet, looking at sieve. So the divine quality is that even if you see a fault, you have to be very careful on whether you should ignore it or you need to really tell about it. If you have to tell it, there's a way to tell about that. How you can tell the person so that the person is not hurt, and also so very, it is called, in mathematics we read about direct proportional. So the you can say the behavior of fault finding, the degree of fault finding is higher, the divinity is less. Lesser the habit of fault finding, the divinity is more. So there's a story about Dronacharya and Yudhishthir and Duryodhan. So what did Yudhishthir did? Dronacharya did. He called both Duryodhan and Yudhishthir. He said to Duryodhan, please go around and find a person who is good. And Duryodhan went around and he came and said, I could not find even a single good person. It is only me. I am the best. There's no good person. Then he asked Yudhishthir Maharaj and said, Yudhishthir, please go and find out one person who is bad. And Yudhishthir Maharaj went around and then he went around and then he found one person who was actually, taking out the water from the well. And that day was a Ekadashi. So at that point of time, all the Ekadashis used to be Nirjala Ekadashis. People never used to drink water. So he said, oh, this person on Ekadashi day, he's taking out the water, so he is someone bad. Yeah, but then he realized that okay, he's not taking out the water for himself, but it is for giving to all the buffaloes. No, to the buffaloes. He had a group of buffaloes with him. So he thought, Yudhishthira Maharaj thought, how bad am I that I can think wrong about others? And he came and told Dronacharya, I went around everywhere. Everyone was good. It's only my mind was corrupted because I could see that person taking out, thinking that he has done. So it is upon yourself. The more divine you are, you will not be able to find faults. The less your degree, and then you will have a habit of more fault finding. That is apashunam. Then daya. Daya is kindness. Daya, not only daya bhuteshwar. To all we have to we have to be kind to, compassionate to all living entities. Bhuteshwar means all living entities. We have to show kindness to all, right? It could be whether it is rich, poor, animal, whatever. We have to show the kindness to all. Does it mean? Okay, we'll talk about that later. Then aloluptvam. Aloluptvam means freedom from covetousness. Covetous means greed. Freedom from greed. We'll talk about greed later, so I will not discuss this here. Mardava. Mardava means gentleness, being gentle. And Raman is an example of being gentle. Ram is called, and when in Ramayana, when Valmiki is explaining describing about the qualities of Ram, he's saying that Ram is Mridubhashi. He is so soft spoken, and he is like, when he speaks, it is his voice is so soft, and it is like as if a honey is flowing, and that is how we should be. So it is gentleness. It should be gentleness not only in your speaking, but how you dress, how you behave, how you handle people, how you talk to them. They all are very, very important, and they are the divine qualities. He means modesty. We have to be very modest. Again, modesty means modest. Modesty means how we dress. It should be cultured. Not that we are wearing scanty clothes and going out. So it should be more cultured. So it should be, so that is how we wear, how we eat, how we talk, all those things comes under modesty. And then chaplam means frickle, and achapalam means steady determination. We have to be steady, very important that we have to be determined, and we are very steady. And so whenever we are very determined, then only we can actually also progress towards Krishna. Yeah. Then we go to the last third shlok. Teja. Teja means vigor. Vigor, and this is specifically for Kshatriyas, because they have to have that vigor. It is their responsibility to save the society, to fight, to give shelter to the weak and meek. So it is very, very important that the Kshatriyas have to have the right vigor. Then Kshama is forgiveness. Forgiveness is a great quality to have. Unless if we want to have happiness in a family, in a society, among friends, we have to have a behavior of forgiveness. If we can't forgive, then we cannot maintain good relationships, because none of us are perfect. All of us do mistakes, and when we are doing mistakes, and if we are not forgiving each other, then what happens? We'll always remember, okay, this person did that, and what will happen? Nothing will happen to the other person. The person who is not forgiving will carry all those things in their heart, and their heart will remain impure. Their heart will remain impure. So it is very, very important to answer, very, very divine quality to have, to forgive people, because no one is perfect, neither you nor I. None of us are perfect. So we have to cultivate the habit of forgiving and forgetting, because unless we forgive, we cannot forget. If we are not forgetting, we are carrying the baggage on with us, and that baggage, when we carry, that baggage will again come back with us in the next life, and we will again meet all those people with whom we had, and again we'll have all those relationships, and again we are going to have and this cycle of will continue life after life. So the most important thing is forgive and forget. Not only forgive and forget. That is very, very important for our spiritual progress. Very, very important for our spiritual progress. So the there's a very important saying I would like to share about that. Two things that we must forget, and two things we should remember. Yeah. So two good things that we must forget is, whenever we do something good for others, we must forget. We must forget. If we have done something good for others, we shouldn't remember, I did this for you. No. And second thing we should forget is, if someone has done anything bad to us, we should forget. Because if someone has done a bad to us, and if I'm going to carry that burden with me, then I'm going to continue Janma, and then I will never be peaceful. I can never be peaceful. So I must forget, if anything that I have done good for anyone, that is done. And something that someone has done anything bad to me, I should forget. You should never always remember, if you have done something bad to others, if I have done something bad to others, I should always remember, repent and forgive myself. Other again, I can't move forward. Yeah. So I should always remember, if something I have done bad, and second thing, if someone has done something good for me. If someone has done something good for me, we should always be grateful to that person. We should always, even if something small thing done, help done, we should always be grateful to that person. Because of that person, something could be done. Yeah. So that is a very, very good quality, because if we have this in our behavior, then what will happen? It will be very, very easy for us to learn how to forgive, then forget, and then move forward. Right. So Teja, Kshama, Dhriti. Dhriti is fortitude. Fortitude means courage in pain and bad time. We have to have courage. Then Shocham, cleanliness. Cleanliness is not only external cleanliness, taking bath, but also internal cleanliness. Internal cleanliness. Cleanliness is there is purification. It is basically cleaning the chanting the mantra, and again these things will help us to keep ourselves clean. Adroho means droha means
others, you should not pull down.
yeah, pull down. Yeah, so basically again freedom from, this has been explained as freedom from envy. Envy we'll talk again later in detail. So the divine qualities is you should not envy. And na ati manita, and na ati mane, man means means honor. We should not have the great this expectation that we should have expectation for honor, and that we should not have. So these are the 26 qualities which are called divine qualities. They are called
6 qualities, sir.
yeah, 26 qualities are there. They are divine qualities, and Krishna says that these are the one Bharat, which are Daivi Sampatti, which is basically the divine qualities which can help us to transcend to the spiritual world. Yeah. So with this, our class time is over. I could not move forward. So thank you. What we'll do is we'll chant our Hare Krishna Maha Mantra and then end the class. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. I request all of you to, if you have any questions or any comments, please write in the comments. If you have, if you like the class or whatever comes to your mind, you have a question or what I said, you want to talk something about it, please put in the comments and I would be more than happy to reply to you. Thank you.